Breaking news! Just when Browns fans thought they had a clear idea of who would start in Week 1, everything changed, and not in the way anyone expected. A quiet morning of training camp suddenly became the spark that ignited the most unpredictable quarterback battle in recent Browns history. The man many believed would take over the offense is now watching from the sidelines. A hamstring injury, minor on paper, but potentially serious in its impact, opened the door to three other candidates, and what was once a one-man race has exploded into total chaos. But that's just the beginning, because what's happening in Berea right now isn't just standard preseason chaos. Behind the scenes, decisions are being made, representatives are being shuffled, and rumors within the organization suggest that nothing, and no one, is safe. Joe Flacco's experience, Dylan Gabriel's accuracy, SHEDEUR Sanders' star power, any one of them could claim the throne. And the one name no one's talking about, yet, might be the one Stefanski is quietly building his offense around. This is more than a quarterback controversy. It's a high-stakes, franchise-defining battle that could shape the Browns' future for the next decade. I have a few more things to tell you, but before I continue, make sure you like this. But only do so if you've been a Browns fan for over 17 years. It's always great to see loyal fans of all generations interacting here. It means a lot to us. If you can, right, go, Browns. My heart bleeds brown and orange. Well, let's get right to it. Yes, my friends, Kenny Pickett suffered the terrible injury. This injury may just be a setback for Pickett, but make no mistake, in a competition as fierce as this, every rep counts. And with Pickett unable to see action, Kevin Stefanski and his coaching staff have a rare, and potentially decisive, opportunity to assess what the rookies can truly do under pressure. Gabriel and Sanders will now see more action in training camp, which could lead to a major overhaul of the depth chart. Flacco, of course, isn't going anywhere. At 40 years old and entering his 18th NFL season, the former Super Bowl MVP is no stranger to pressure. He showed flashes of brilliance last season, taking over late in the season to lead the Browns to the playoffs and winning 4 or 5 games as a starter in a season in which Cleveland had 5 different quarterbacks. But age isn't just a number in the NFL, and while Flacco's experience is invaluable, the Browns are clearly focused on the long term, a fact reflected in the decision to draft 2 quarterbacks in April. The tale of those 2 rookies, Gabriel and Sanders, is as compelling as it gets. Gabriel, selected in the 3rd round, had a nomadic college career that culminated in a magical 2024 season at Oregon. He threw for 3,857 yards and 30 touchdowns, leading the Ducks to an undefeated regular season and a Big Ten title before falling to Ohio State in the playoff quarterfinal. That performance put him squarely on the Browns' radar, and his consistency and decision-making have already started turning heads in Berea. Then there's SHEDEUR Sanders, drafted in the 5th round. But by no means an afterthought, Sanders is the son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, and he's bringing more than just a famous name. Last season at Colorado, he threw for 4,134 yards with 37 touchdowns and just 10 interceptions. There was first-round buzz around him leading into the draft, but when he slipped, the Browns pounced, trading up on day 3 to snag him. His arm talent, mobility, and poise under pressure make him a fascinating wild card in this competition. Complicating things further, Deshaun Watson remains on the roster, carrying a massive $46 million fully guaranteed salary for both this year and next. But Watson is still rehabbing from an Achilles injury and is not expected to play this season. That means the Browns must forge ahead without their highest paid asset, and it makes this quarterback competition more than just a temporary fix. It's a search for their next leader. Meanwhile, the Browns have also added more firepower to their offensive arsenal by signing running back Toa Taua. After leading the UFL in rushing touchdowns last season with the Michigan Panthers, Taua now gets his shot in the NFL. At 5'9" and 215 pounds, Taua is a downhill runner with a nose for the end zone. Over his college career at Nevada, he rushed for nearly 4,000 yards and 33 touchdowns. Now wearing number 35 in brown and orange, Taua joins a backfield that could use some fresh legs, especially as training camp grinds on. But it's not just the quarterback room that's full of intrigue. One of the most exciting developments from camp comes at tight end, where rookie Harold Fannin Jr. is turning heads. Drafted in the 3rd round out of Bowling Green, Fannin enters the NFL with record-setting numbers at the college level. He owns FBS marks for most receptions in a season, 117, most receiving yards in a season, 1,555, and most receptions in a single game, 17. Those are staggering stats for a tight end, and it's no surprise that Pro Bowler David Njoku has taken a keen interest in mentoring him. Njoku, entering a contract year, could easily view Fannin as a threat. Instead, he's embraced the rookie. "Oh my God, he's a beast, right?" Njoku said during the 5th day of training camp. I love it. He's awesome. You know what I mean? It builds the competition. We get that much better together. He's a great kid. And Njoku, known not just for his receiving skills but also for his blocking ability, plans to pass on his knowledge and energy to Fannin, even inviting him over to his house to build chemistry and share techniques. Kevin Stefanski's 12 personnel heavy offense relies on tight ends being versatile, and if Fannin can sharpen his blocking skills under Njoku's guidance, he could become a lethal counterpart in a system that values two tight end sets. The potential pairing of Njoku and Fannin is already sparking excitement among coaches and fans alike, and if training camp is any indication, the Browns may have stumbled onto a game-changing combo. With just under 6 weeks until the season opener, the clock is ticking. Cleveland's coaching staff faces tough decisions, especially as they try to balance practice reps among 4 quarterbacks, including 2 promising rookies. It's even been suggested that one of these quarterbacks could be traded before the season begins, a move that could relieve the logjam and possibly yield valuable assets in return. And while many believe Pickett is still the front-runner, largely because the Browns aggressively acquired him before re-signing Flacco or drafting either rookie, that status could be slipping by the day. This injury, albeit minor, comes at a terrible time. If he can't return quickly and perform well in the preseason, he risks losing his grip on the job before the real games even begin. And here's where things get even more layered. While most teams in the NFL are desperately searching for one reliable quarterback, the Cleveland Browns find themselves in the rare and oddly precarious position of having 4. That's not just a luxury, it's a logistical nightmare. How do you fairly divide practice reps among 4 potential starters? And more importantly, how do you build chemistry with the starting offense when you're still juggling rotations deep into training camp? Head coach Kevin Stefanski now faces perhaps the most consequential decision of his Browns tenure. He must choose a quarterback not just to survive the early weeks of the season, but to potentially steer the Browns through the long-term future. And in that calculus, veteran instincts alone may not be enough to carry Joe Flacco through the finish line. Flacco's recent history is a mix of durability and decline. In the past 6 years since leaving Baltimore, he's made 29 starts, thrown 46 touchdown passes, 28 interceptions, and won only 9 games. Last season's late surge in Cleveland, where he went 4-1 as a starter and helped secure a playoff berth, brought back shades of his past glory. But it was also marred by a 2-pick-6 performance against Houston in the wild-card round. A reminder that, at this stage, his play remains volatile. And that's what makes the emergence of Dillon Gabriel and SHEDEUR Sanders even more intriguing. These aren't your average late-round flyers. Gabriel has 6 years of college experience, giving him a level of poise and polish uncommon for rookies. His football IQ, combined with his ability to stay calm in high-pressure moments, gives him a shot at unseating more seasoned quarterbacks. Sanders, meanwhile, brings that intangible it factor. He's played on big stages, handled media scrutiny with the composure of a 10-year veteran, and displays a confidence that energizes everyone around him. The Browns initially passed on him several times during the draft, only to trade up and snag him on day 3. That move could age like fine wine if Sanders rises to the top of this QB race. And don't underestimate the ripple effect that a quarterback decision has on the rest of the roster. Chemistry between a quarterback and his skill players is forged through repetition, communication, and trust. The longer this competition drags on without a clear leader, the more it risks stalling the development of young talents like Fannin Jr., Taua, and even the receiving core who are trying to lock down their roles in the offense. Speaking of Harold Fannin Jr., this rookie continues to be one of the most